Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newsroom and welcome to the Goutopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. This is the Snort Report. Let's go. First off, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are doing well. This video should come out either Monday or Tuesday morning, so that's a thing. But I'm actually recording this before the weekend because I have a long weekend ahead of me. So I wanted to go ahead and see if I could get a video out to you guys, at least to start your week off right. Hopefully. One, happy late birthday, I guess at this point, but happy late birthday to Karma Kid. I saw your thing on the Friday broadcast and whatnot. I didn't know it was your birthday, but happy birthday either which way and whatnot. Hope your weekend goes really well. Shouts out to Super Crazy and the homie Jay. I see your comments, people. I see your comments, brothers. Okay, it's coming. It's coming. Okay, I promise. Okay, and I don't tap out. There is no choking out for me, bruh. Iron Man match. If I don't submit, it never happened. Okay, just to let y'all know. Just to let y'all know. Well, I got love for y'all. So big ups to you guys. The wrestling video, the first wrestling video, which will be the Montreal Screwjob, at least part 1 of possibly 3, is coming soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get into why you guys are actually here. I have a video here by Snort Burnell, one of our favorites, DsPgaming. Money and laziness is preventing a new DSP Trizit. Oh boy. The talk of DSP Trizits are still in play? Really? The last couple have been kind of lackluster. I don't even know why that would even be a thing. But ladies and gentlemen, being the pup that I am, and being that I've been spending a lot of time going through Phil's old stuff, you know what I'm saying? I've been digging up a lot of things, right? So if you find any skeletons in my closet, that just should tell you how long them bodies have been in it. Shouts out to Loaded Lux. I decided to go ahead and go the extra mile. So on top of this video, I have another one for you. I'm going to take you guys back to 2016. Let's see, also by Snort Burnell. Actually, I think it's on the Snort Burnell 2 channel, maybe? I'll have the links to all these videos in the description. You know how I do. But KO Gaming / DsPgaming. Low views on DSP Trizit. This is from November 13th of 2016. But wait! Let me work. Please let me work. I'm not done yet. I have one more video for you guys. It's going to be also by Snort Burnell, DsPgaming. I'm not making ad revenue, and DSP Trizits is fan service. This is from February 1st of 2018. I hope you guys are strapped in. I hope your day goes well, and this might be a long one, so at least you guys have something to listen to starting up your day before some of my fellow detractors go ahead and put out their greatness. So let's not delay it any further, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Snort Report, and this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh yes, a GTG Network and Productions. You guys all know the slogan. I'll spend no bacon cooking yet. And no one wants any like microwaved bacon from some fast food joint anyway. I want my bacon to be crispy and I want it to be delicious. Okay? I don't want no floppy, you know what I'm saying, unenthusiastic bacon. No one wants that. No one got time for this. So please give me the chance. It's time to watch me work. I want some Burger King microwave bacon. Like shit better be crispy. I'll tell you that right now. It better be crispy.
God! What the fuck?
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude. And I have to warn everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting. Sound good?
Alright. Sounds good to me.
It better. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with one of 3 videos that will make up our broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with one of our favorites, Snort Burnell, DsPgaming. Money and laziness prevents a new DSP Trizit. You guys must be chomping at the bit. Everybody wants to see Phil irritate or aggravate his gout. Let's go ahead and get into it. Ugh.
Okay, let's see. Okay, Phil tipped me $1 says I am delusional. Well, there you go. Thank you very much. I'm delusional, but you're the one sending me $1 tip, so thanks very much for that.
Salt, salt, salt 90% of the time.
Am I Italian? I am 1/4 Italian. Spitzer, he's asking. My mom is 50-50, half Italian, half Polish. And my dad is a bunch of mix of European countries, so I'm about 1/4 Italian. Yes.
Huh? Well, first things first, at least he's, I mean, I don't know, he's switching the story up. Last time I thought the last time he told us this, he said that his father was Polish, and he said his mother was half Italian, half Polish. Alright, whatever. Alright, Phil, remix it however way you need to.
What?
Why can we talk about food but not get a DSP tries it? Asks Anthropomorphic Crab. I've explained this many times, I'll explain it again. There's 2 reasons.
Laziness. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money.
Number 1, because DSP tries it became a huge hassle in my life. I want to just eat. I don't want to have to sit down, set up a camera, record, and hold off from eating. It's incredibly frustrating to have to do that. It was one thing when I was a bachelor, and I had all the time of the day to film and do whatever because I was filming offline. I wasn't live streaming. You know, we're talking back in Connecticut days, before I even live streamed. Now that I'm on a set schedule and I have limited time to do all the things that I need to do, actually having to film instead of eat is incredibly annoying. Number 2, DSP tries it ended because YouTube had insanely plummeting ad revenue, and it was actually costing me more money to make the show than I was getting on the show. So, for example, I would make a DSP tries it that got between 5,000 to 10,000 views, and I would make about $5 on the video, and it would cost me like $10 or more to get the food for the video. So it didn't make any sense to do it anymore. You know, there was one time, and I'm not exaggerating here, there was one time I would put out a DSP tries it, and it would make like $50 a video. Now, not so much anymore, okay?
Where's the money go?
Well, let me go ahead and dig into all these lies. Lies, I tell you. Lies! Ladies and gentlemen, first things first. Time to watch me work. Okay, first things first. As it pertains to DSP tries and why he stopped them, talking about this whole nonsense about when he was a bachelor, and I guess when Aryan Lord was sending him all kinds of crazy messages and whatever, and and he was living alone and he had time to set up this, that, and the third, so on and so forth. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to clear your mind of the gout for just a second and walk with me. Come with me on a journey. I distinctly remember, and I know some of you do too, that Phil didn't stop DSP tries-its until even after Panda left, which was when they had already moved to Washington. Matter of fact, while they were in Washington, they were doing DSP tries-its. Excuse me, pretty much the whole time that they were together. If I remember correctly, one of the first DSP tries-its that they did in Washington was either Taco Bell or Arby's. I think it was Arby's. Because I think Phil said that in Connecticut, the only place he could go to get an Arby's sandwich, deep lore right now, the only place he knew that there was an Arby's was like close to a mall or inside that mall. But when it closed, he didn't have access to it. I might be a little bit fuzzy on the details, but I know someone is catching what I'm throwing out there. With that being said, Arby's was like 15 minutes down the street. He said there was a bunch of places up the street, so on and so forth. He did a shitload of DSP tries-its while he was in Connecticut. I mean, while he was in Seattle. He started the series in Connecticut, but while he was in Seattle. And for some of you guys, one of the most notorious ones was like that $60 pizza video he did. Insane. I've got actually something caught up. I got something planned for DSP tries too, by the way. I found a detractor named LD who did the unhealthy lifestyle. He did like 13 of them, and it's basically compilations of all of DSP's tries-its or whatnot. So that's going to be a good look when I get ready to go over those. I'm not sure if they're going to be on this channel or the other channel. We'll see. But definitely look out for those as well. If for some of you who should know this, Snort Burnell does the Devour series. You can check those out too. Absolutely great. So that's the first thing. They didn't actually stop. DSP tries-its did not stop until Cat got there, to be honest. And matter of fact, that's even a lie, because I think Cat had actually filmed the Nightmare Whopper or whatever burger that was he did. She filmed that nonsense, and then I think after that she told him to stop, whatever the case may be. So him being a bachelor had nothing to do with it. Let's talk about the money. Now, if lore does me justice, Phil used to make $10,000, 12, maybe even 15,000 views on some of those videos back in the day under the machinima contract where he was being overpaid, this, that, and the third. Phil used to make hundreds of dollars on those DSP Trizits. Hence the reason why there were so many of them. Now he's saying it's only 50 bucks. Now he's saying that, oh, DSP Trizits now don't make me any money, which they may or they may not. Oh, I'm spending more money on the actual meal than what the video actually produces, which generally that's a lie. He's definitely making over what he pays for the meal. But that goes to my third point. So, first 2 points about being a bachelor, and when he was solo, he could film it, and he had time to, but now he's on a set schedule. Bullshit. Second one, oh, you know what I'm saying, I don't make any money on those videos, yada, yada, yada. I only made 50 bucks back in the day, and I never made any more than that. He's told us before that he's made hundreds of dollars on those videos. Done. Third point. When Phil does DSP Trizits, he doesn't do, or I think most of the time, not every DSP Trizit he's ever done, but most of those DSP Trizits were done all in one shot. Let me give you an example. When Phil, if you've ever watched Phil's table, the last major DSP Trizit Phil did with Panda, that I can remember, it was either the KFC one or it was the one where they went to Taco Bell. They had multiple different types of food things that they were trying. And if I had to guess, I think Phil either did maybe 2 or 3 of them for one video and did 2 or 3 for another. Or for Burger King, he'll pick out 1 or 2 food items to do for one DSP Trizit and do a couple of them for another one. But he does it all in one shot. It's all done in one day. It's just filmed differently and posted differently. That's why you see all these bags on the tables sometimes when you see him do all these different DSP Trizits. Because he was doing a lot of them at once and then just cutting them up, or then he would just he would go ahead and just do an item, cut it, and then go ahead and do the next one later on down the line. Which means he's kind of double dipping on himself, but it's actually a pretty clever way of doing it. But think about the amount of food that this guy had to pack away. Think of the amount of food that Panda would have to pack away to make all of that happen. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, he was playing the angles. For sure. He was playing the angles. Now, am I saying he did that for every DSP Trizit? No. But he did it for most. Just imagine watching Phil do a review for a burger, yet he has 2 big-ass bags on the table plus a drink. Well, what's in those other bags? And especially when Phil was single. Like Phil was going wild with the whole fucking DSP Trizit bullshit, or certainly the food thing. One example was, I think when he tried the Taco Bell fries, the seasoned fries things, he had it on his little paper plate, and he was sitting there trying it with the cheese sauce or whatever. But then he had like 2 or 3 bags on that same table. Well, what else are you eating there, cowboy? What else are we doing with all that food? There's a reason why you caught gout. Like I said, those are just my 3 key points. I'm sure somebody remembers it and whatnot. But trust me, he was milking DSP Trizits for everything they were worth. To be honest, for a good while. And even then, Panda was even probably asking him to cut back on a lot of that stuff too. But he did a shitload of them. Well after he ended up getting with Panda and he was entrenched in a relationship. Anyway, DSP News.
Where's the money go?
Okay, Phil, to me another $1 says, okay, so people who donate are delusional, got it? No, just you. You're the only one. You're literally the only person who's delusional because you apparently don't like me, but you just keep giving me money. So you're just stupid as hell. You don't seem to understand. We're not talking about me. We're not talking about anyone else. We're just talking about you. You are the dummy here. You.
Oh, you're gonna get salt. It's even now, again, my mouth overpowered with salt flavor.
Vote Democrat cheered again and said, how about a new tier of Patreon that buys DSP Trizit, like a $40 tier? Again, vote Democrat. That's only one factor. I mean, I'll be very honest with you, okay? If there wasn't the other factor involved,
laziness.
Yeah, here's the thing, and the example that Vote Democrat just put up there is not the first time someone has recommended something. Let me give you an example. First thing about the whole "you're a dummy" for calling him delusional, so on and so forth. I mean, to be honest, Phil needs to do more of that banter because he could drive more money in. But in truth, the way Phil's doing is just, it's kind of meaningless, to be honest with you. But at the same time, giving Phil money and him giving you nothing in return, it kind of makes it makes a lot of people look stupid, to be honest. But that's neither here nor there. Now, as it pertains to set up a goal, a sub goal, a Patreon goal, whatever, and then you can do a DSP Tries It. People have asked for that, for him to do movie reviews. People have asked him to do that as it pertains to, what else did they recommend? They said movie reviews. They said to, oh man, movie reviews, DSP Tries It. I think they asked him to do that. Oh, they asked him to do that with Cooking Poorly with the King. They asked him to do it for a multitude of things over the years. The reason why Phil does it is because, in truth, he just wants your money. He doesn't want to be obligated to do something, especially something like that. And an example, excuse me, sadly I don't have the clip for it. Someone had made a recommendation and say, hey, we'll pay you to do this. Why don't you just do it? Oh, am I not doing enough for you guys? I already work, I don't know, he said something absurd, like, oh, I already work 12 hours a day for you guys, this, that, and the third. Is that not enough? Yada, 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 yada. This falls under the same category. Phil does not want to ever be financially obligated to a group of people for anything. Anything like this, where he would have no choice but to do it. It's not like a Patreon's choice, where he can screw you guys 2 months down the line. That's on y'all. But for something like this, where, hey, Phil, this product's coming out, or this product's out, we hit the $40 tier, or we hit a sub goal, or a cheer goal, or whatever. You have to review that. Phil doesn't want to do that. Because now he's on someone else's schedule. And he doesn't want no parts of that. He really doesn't. And I don't know why. He has such a hard... he has such a hard time dealing with being obligated to people. And he has a really, really hard issue with being told what to do. Well, after he's been paid for it, he has a really, really hard time being told what to do. Good example, might be a bad example, but it's a decent example, was Mario Sunshine. He sat there and basically tried to throw up the gauntlet. Oh, I'm going to play Mario Sunshine, but, oh, I'm already playing 2 Mario games already, so I can't play a third. That doesn't make any sense. I'll play, what do you play, Spyro? Play Spyro. And then, oh, we'll play that, and then I'll do Mario Sunshine 2 months down the line when it makes a little bit more sense. And he kept pushing it back, and he kept pushing it back, until he was forced to finally do it. The thing is, ladies and gentlemen, is he already had his $1,250. He already hit his Patreon goal for that. He was already paid for that. So, for him, oh, well, I already got your money, dummies. So just take Spyro and shut the hell up. And as the detractors, the trolls, and the haters came in and continued to push the movement, it pushed more pressure on him. Then he started bitching and complaining about, oh, I have to pay $35 for a used copy because he couldn't find a virtual copy anywhere. Oh, now I have to dig out my old system and see if that works. Oh, now I have to find the connective wiring and this, that, and the third. Then at the end of it, he got mad because he had to pay, or he had to spend about between $135 and $100 and maybe $60 to get all the peripherals together so he could play Mario Sunshine. Who cares? He's still walking away with what, $1,070, $1,080 profit. He's still walking away with profit, even if, and more importantly, he couldn't even complain about he didn't have the money for it because he had his initial $1,250 from Patreon, plus whatever he accumulated over the months that he delayed it. But yet he still made excuses. Doing a DSP Tries It would be the exact same thing. All Phil will do is, if they set a goal for it, is, oh, well, I don't want to try that. Oh, my local one doesn't have that. Oh, well, I'm going to go ahead and do this one instead. He'll just keep pushing the goalposts back. He'll keep changing the rules till it fits his narrative, until he feels that he has control of the situation. And at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, that's all it comes down to, is being able to control the situation. And he'll lie, he'll cheat, he'll steal, he'll do whatever he has to make that happen. It's the way of the pig. DSP News?
DSP Tries It. In fact, I did, if you don't remember, like revenue on DSP Tries It plummeted, I'd say probably around 2015, 2016. Yet I kept doing it for another 1 to 2 years. The reason I stopped doing it ultimately was the time factor. Like, I'm on a set schedule now, so I stream the first stream, I upload, I head downstairs, spend a tiny bit of time with my wife, usually before she goes to work. Sometimes we eat dinner together, sometimes we can't even do that, okay? Then, I'm eating dinner, cleaning up after dinner, doing errands around the house. A lot of the times I'm setting up for the next stream, then boom, onto the next stream, working, uploading, doing stuff after, and then my wife usually comes home from work, and I get to spend maybe an hour or two with her before we go to sleep. Like, my day is jam-packed with actions and stuff to do, like boom, boom, boom. Now you say, oh, now, instead of just eating, I'm gonna go out and get fast food, which means I have to drop money on it. I have to spend time going to buy the food. I have to come home, set up filming, film the thing, review this fast food seriously, which honestly I don't even care about reviewing fast food anymore, just being honest with all of you. And doing, you see what I mean? Like, it's not just, oh, a money factor. Oh, well, if we pay Phil $40, will he do it? That's not the deal. The deal here is it's too much of a hassle and a time constraint. Plus, the other thing is, I have all but phased fast food out of my diet. At the most, I probably eat fast food 1 to 2 times a month, if that. Okay? It's a rarity. It's like, oh man, we don't have time to cook, or something went wrong with a meal. We have to run out and grab something as a replacement or something. Then we'll get fast food. It's very rare when Kat and I would eat fast food. So, it's very different. I used to eat fast food at least once a week, if not more, to do DSP Tries It, and now I just don't do it anymore. Okay? So, it's very different, okay? It's not a money factor exclusively, even though that is one of the considerations. It's mostly a time constraint and hassle kind of a deal where I just don't really care anymore. I know there's been tons of fast food. There's been new burgers at Wendy's. See, I know all about it. There's the new burgers at Wendy's. There's the new replacement meat burger at Burger King, where it's like I don't even know what they call it, but I guess it's supposed to be like the vegan burger. There's all this stuff that I know you guys would probably love to see me do DSP Tries It on, but the series is dead, guys. Like, I've kind of explained this a million times. It's not really going to come back unless there's, like, really a reason, a special reason for me to do it. Like, maybe a notable anniversary or something so huge that I absolutely have to try it. But outside of that, it's not really coming back. It's not going to be a thing, guys, okay?
Trust me, I know what I'm doing.
Let's keep covering this up. Oh, I'm about to give you guys bacon wrapped pork ribs. I hope you guys are ready. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so first things first. I phased fast food completely out of my diet. Then, in the next sentence, it's a rarity that I go out and get fast food once or twice a month, but it's a rarity, you know what I'm saying? This, that, and the third. I don't care to do fast food. I don't even really like fast food, but we do it once or twice a month when we're out and we have no choice to set in the third. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at the time that I'm recording this, the revelation has come out. Not really a revelation, because Phil's already told this, and I've certainly told you this, that on Phil's day off, they're out ordering food while they're out running errands, air quotes, and whatever other bullshit that he says. So I would assume out of one of those 3 meals, there's some fast food involved. If I had to guess, it's probably dinner. Breakfast, Phil likes to go to some mom and pop shop that he's been taking Panda since they moved out there. For lunch, they're probably going to like some place in the mall, a nice little sit-down spot where they can eat. Dinner, if I had to guess, it's some form of fast food. He does that on every day off that he has with her. That's not a big revelation, but it is something that people have caught on to, I don't know, a couple of days back when Phil finally came out of his face and admitted it. But Phil has already told us before. Like I said, I've been telling you guys that for a while. It is what it is. So that's the first thing. First lie. Second lie. Oh, it's a money thing. I have to go out there and have to go ahead and buy the food. I have to, I have to drop money on the food. Then I have to come back, this, that, and the third. Then the third point, oh, where am I going to find the time? So let's go ahead and swap. Let's go ahead and swap number 3 for number 2. The new number 2 is, oh, I don't have time to do it. Well, how do you not have time to do it, Phil, when you have a 3-hour gap between the first stream and the second stream? You say that you spend time with Kat before she goes to work. Let's say that Kat has an hour, hour and a half. That's more than enough time for you to go down, actually in this first stream early, because he's barely making any money on the first stream anyway. Go downstairs, pick a spot to go and eat at. It doesn't have, or pick a spot to get food from. It doesn't necessarily have to be a fast food place. It could be like a deli shop. It could be anything, to be honest with you. You can call ahead and get something from like a TGI Fridays, a Chili's, whatever it is he has around him, a Red Robin's, whatever. He can call that shit in advance. Matter of fact, he can have Kat do that for him at like 3 o'clock, 3:15. She can go and pick it up, and then by the time he gets off of the first stream, the food's right there. All he has to do is set up the camera. Matter of fact, last time I checked, Kat's hands aren't put on backwards, so she could set up the camera, and then he could film. He can knock that out, lickety-split, and then there you go. Go ahead and put it up there on one of those dusty hard drives you have until, he's ready to periodically put that out. Now, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of that comes down to a level of forethought that Phil doesn't have. But I'm just throwing that out there for posterity's sake. So the time constraint issue is bullshit. That's been dispelled. Now, the new third point. Oh, I don't have the money to this, that, and third. Well, if you hit the sub goal, or if you hit a cheer goal, right, or a donation goal, whatever, he already has the money then. He already has the money in hand. All he has to do is put that aside for whatever the next DSP Tries It is. Done. Now, one more thing. This will be goal number 4. Or this will be point number 4. Okay, he doesn't want to do fast food, so on and so forth. Fair enough. there are plenty of places that I just named. TGI Fridays, a Chili's, I don't know, any like little sit-down restaurant type situation that does to-go, that has like a to-go menu or to-go pickup or whatever, that he could do in as a very good alternative to fast food. Because he can customize his burger or his chicken sandwich or his salad or whatever it is that he wants to try. He has full customization on that, to be honest. And he doesn't have to eat all of it. It's not like Phil eats every piece of food on a DSP Tries It. He takes a couple of bites of it. He gives you some bullshit opinion from someone who don't know how to cook, so I don't know how valid his point would necessarily be. But he gives you a little point, and then he turns that shit off, and then him and Kat commits to eating and socializing or whatever they do, because they don't really come across as an actual married couple, and then she goes to work. So, out of the 4 points that I've just made, what are his excuses? Time has been taken care of, the food has been taken care of, the money has been taken care of, and what type of food has been taken care of. There you go. And since the fans funded it, who cares how much you end up making on the video? It doesn't really matter, does it? Because they paid for it. Whatever you're getting is still profit on your part. Whether it's $50 or it's 50 cents, it's still profit that you didn't have before. Just saying. But ladies and gentlemen, that would require some logic and so on and so forth. But I just wanted to put that out there. DSP News.
I find, and this is no exaggeration, probably about 80 to 90% of the time that something goes wrong for me.
Oh yeah, and before the crybaby does his crybaby shit. And as he admitted, ladies and gentlemen, he's watching, and he still keeps his ear to the ground. He still has his hoofs to the pavement on what the new food products are. So you're telling me when he goes into these big discussions about how a burger should be prepared, how a sandwich should be assembled, what kind of pizza that he really liked, or what place is good, or what kind of Asian food that he likes, or so on and so forth, whatever. You're telling me all that salivating that he's doing on stream, he's not acting upon it later on? Really? Really? No, not at all. If I did, let's say I did a video, or even a short stream, 30 minutes of me going over a couple of YouTube videos of some of the best food trucks, if you will, in Seattle. You really don't think that if Phil or one of his little minions saw that shit and goes back to Phil, you should try this. I saw this in a Detractor video. And Phil's like, that does sound pretty good. You don't think in a month or so he wouldn't have tried it? Even if it's not actually a DSP Tries It. Even if he never is really vocal about it. And he just mentions, oh, me and Kat went to this food truck thing this one time. You really don't think he would actually try it? Really? Really? He can say whatever he wants to say about Detractor shitting on him, this, that, and the third. But if one of us went out of their way, a cute pup in a sharp suit went out of his way to review some food trucks that were happening in his state, you really think Phil wouldn't actually think about acting upon it? You really think his little snout wouldn't be in the air, just trying to catch that aroma through his computer monitor? You really think not? Really? I don't know. Maybe I'm giving myself a little too much credit. I could be. But I don't think I am. Here we go.
Someone else was incompetent or didn't do their job. Just being honest. Just being completely and utterly honest.
Judicious Echoes. Did a 200-bit cheers. Did you do a stream on YouTube with DSP Tries It already made? Turn on Super Chat and see if it's worthwhile. Couldn't do that, Judicious Echoes. If you're not aware, when you live stream, okay, you sign an agreement saying I will only make money on one platform. I'm not kidding. Both YouTube and Twitch force you to do this. So technically, if I were to ever stream anything on YouTube with Super Chat and anyone contributed anything, I'm violating the rule set of said website who I'm not streaming on. So, for example, if I stream on YouTube, Twitch could kick me out of their program and say, well, you violated us. You know, you violated our legal agreement with you. So you can't do that.
Now, here's the thing. It might be true. It might not be the way he's explaining. So you would have to ask like an almighty Tevin or somebody who would know about that in particular. But because Phil is partnered, I don't think he can dual stream on two different websites like that. Only because he's partnered though. Maybe if you're affiliated, you wouldn't be able to do it either. I can't remember now, because there's a lot of people who just don't even bother going into the partnership. There are some people who just don't take advantage of the partnership program on Twitch, so they can dual stream on YouTube and Twitch respectfully, and this way it kind of keeps their options open, because there's no reason to lock yourself in the position only to lose it. I mean, look at some of those people on Twitch now. They're constantly scared that they're going to get kicked off the platform, and if they came to YouTube, they wouldn't know what to do. When in a lot of ways, it's kind of the same way, except for one platform is slightly better than the other. I guess it depends on if you consider streaming as just streaming. So I don't know if his example is completely right. I don't stream, obviously, as you guys know, because if you guys did, you guys would know. But I don't think that reason is the exact reason. Only because he's partnered, though, is the thing I agree with. Everything else is kind of shaky.
Oops, oh! Well, pretty similar to my single-player campaign. The horse is dead. My horse is dead. My horse died. What the fuck? The horse died. On a jump over a rock, the horse died. I have no horse. No! You fucked up! Oh, no! Oh! What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh! Easy to eat. Oh! Phil's fat. Phil's a loser. Phil's a beggar. Phil's a scammer. DSP is a thief. DSP is a greedy fuck.
This guy's a bitch.
Indeed he is. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're not done. Let's go into the second video of our broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to go ahead and bring you to the year of 2016. KO Gaming / DSP Gaming. Low views on DSP Tries-Its. It's from November 13th of 2016. See you guys in just a second.
I have a micro... Ooh. Excuse me. I seriously had that burp stuck in my chest. You know how you have that feeling?
And I'll also be honest with you, recently, it seems like the DSP Tries-Its I've been doing haven't been doing so great. I don't know if it's because I've now been doing DSP Tries-Its so consistently that maybe I need to take a break from it and then bring it back when I have a bunch of stuff queued up. I mean, that might be a good idea, because I think what happens is you get oversaturated with it, where every week there's a new DSP Tries-It, and then you kind of get bored. Versus if it's not around for a while and I bring it back and I have non-stop new episodes every week, maybe it'll have a little bit more interest. I don't know. So right now, there's nothing going on. So no DSP Tries-It this week. Okay? But we'll see. Well, if anything new comes up and I want to try it, I'll do an episode, but I certainly don't want to force an episode either. You know what I mean? I do have a box of stuff that a fan sent to me from Amsterdam. It's a bunch of candies and cakes and stuff from there. And I wanted to do a DSP Tries-It on it, but I just haven't had a chance to sit down and do it. You know, in particular because, quite honestly, I don't really eat candy or cake at all. I don't. I usually, every once in a while, I'll have, like, a trail mix. Or at night, maybe I'll have something like a quick sandwich. Last night, I actually got some fresh bread. We went grocery shopping. Big fresh bakery hoagie rolls. And I made myself, like, a small Italian mini sub as a snack at night because I was really hungry. And, that's the kind of stuff I do. I don't actually have, like, I don't eat necessarily junk food, per se. Okay, not often anyway. So... I had this box of stuff, and I'm like, well, it's great, and I definitely want to do a video on it, but I don't really crave it, If I ever get a chance to do it, I will. I'll film some of those. Maybe I'll film a few back-to-back DSP Tries-Its, and that way they could be, like, split in between weeks when there's no new fast food stuff, but we'll see. Let's see.
Wow. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so, as I said, this is 2016, and Phil was in full effect when it came to those DSP Tries-Its. So much so, in fact, that he was putting out, he's saying once a week? God damn, that's a lot of fast food. Excuse me. He's got his fast food going on once a week. Views are low because he's oversaturating the market, and he's talking about, well, maybe I should go ahead and give myself a little bit of leeway. Fair enough. Then we get into, I don't snack, which we all remember this from the Escort saga about, I don't eat a lot of cakes or sweets or anything like that, despite the fact that that's mainly what Kat was making, was sweets. But he doesn't eat a lot of sweets. He's not a snack type person. He doesn't eat a lot of chips or a lot of cookies or brownies or things like that. Whatever. But this guy will make himself full-blown hoagie sandwiches in the middle of the night after, ladies and gentlemen, he's already had dinner. Keep that in mind. after you've already had dinner, after Din Din was made, and knowing that Panda, because Panda was in the picture at the time, was giving him all the larger portions, the biggest pork chops, the biggest chickens, pieces of chicken, all the larger and more juicier steaks, while she took, you know, whatever was left, and a whole lot of vegetables. He still found room for a nice little Italian hoagie sandwich on some fresh bread and whatnot. But that's the only snack that I have. So let's think about this, ladies and gentlemen. What's worse, having a few, pastries from Amsterdam, I think you said. So having a couple of pieces of candy, I guess, or maybe a small little snack cake or something like that, or eating a full-blown Italian sandwich with all the fixins. Because let's be honest, Panda was the one back there cutting up all the fixins up, so of course he's going to take full advantage of it. Which one do you think is worse?
What happens? No new DSP tries it this week, okay? Outside of that, not much else to talk about today. I have one piece of good news, and I think it's actually pretty good news, and I do want to share it with you, and then we'll just do quick plugs and we'll get started. YouTube had not updated its data properly for about a week, and that's about true. It was about the 4th. Yeah, what's today? Today's the 12th, right? It was either the 4th or the 5th of November. YouTube data froze, and it wasn't giving proper updates on how everything was going or anything. I can now tell you, it finally updated this morning, and I'm doing pretty good this month. It looks like that. Remember how I told you things picked up a little bit last month for me? That it looked like all of a sudden, out of nowhere, that I was making a little bit of extra money. It's continued. So I think what's happening is...
yeah, I remember this time a little bit. It's before my time as actually recording all this, but I do kind of remember some of this. This is when he was watching his metrics month by month by month, and then giving people like these daily updates on how his finances were doing as pertains to views and everything. I'm sorry. He was basically giving people daily updates on his finances, depending on views and so on and so forth. Because Twitch wasn't in the picture at this time. Okay? He wasn't forced to go back to that yet. So this is him peddling the Kool-Aid, if you will, the YouTube Kool-Aid to the pig roach cult. So that's this is a bit of a throwback.
It's the ad revenue season for YouTube. All the holiday ads are out now officially.
And so I am making a little bit of extra money right now, which is good. You know, so that's why I'm happy.
I'm staying on top of the new releases. I'm covering them appropriately. I'm not lagging behind so far, which is a great thing. And, you know, that's good. 2 thumbs up for that. And it looks like I'm making a little bit of extra money doing it too. So thanks to everyone who's turning out for the streams, who's watching the videos, who's spreading the word. Even though this game right now, Dishonored 2, may not be the most popular thing I've ever done, quite honestly, it's pretty unpopular, and I don't really know why, because everyone who I ask says, my playthrough is great, and the streams have been good, and
So he was streaming on YouTube at this time, I guess? Because he didn't actually go back to Twitch until, until he got himself kicked out of the Machinima deal, and that was, March or April of 2017? So yeah, so he was probably just streaming on YouTube at that time. Okay. Just want to put that into perspective. Interesting. It's funny too because you know how he says, "Oh, I'm a full-time interactive streamer and I don't have time to do all the focus, this, that, and the third." But yet he wanted to have, and I think he still does. He still wants a video sharing division for Amazon. So why can't he do the exact same thing he was doing on YouTube, with concentrating on the views and on the videos on YouTube, which is now an archive, as you guys know, and still stream on Twitch? When in actuality, he's asking for both of them to be on the exact same platform, so he can treat YouTube so he can treat Twitch like he used to treat YouTube. Seems kind of silly, right? It seems like a lack of versatility, not being able to juggle between these two different platforms. Instead, he would rather have everything on just one platform. And I get the convenience part of it, but then again, you're begging for money every day. So in truth, are you really doing everything that you can financially to keep yourself afloat, outside of begging, of course? Just throwing that out there.
Game is good. So I don't know. I don't understand it. Sometimes I do something that I think is going to be successful. It's not. Sometimes I do something that I think is just a filler thing and it ends up being super successful. I don't get it anymore, and I really don't. I'm not going to fret about it, okay? But thank you for those who are here. I appreciate it. It's working out so far. And if I could keep up this month positively, and I could have a good December, a good finish to the year, that could really help me out come next year. As you know, early next year, tons of new releases coming out, and that could give me a lot of momentum for it. Alright, so let's see. Let's see how if it continues to be good. But right now, so far so good. I'm pleased with how things is going. Thank you very much for that, everybody.
Oh boy. Does anybody remember that? That's back when Snort Burnell videos used to be short. They were only like 3 to 5 minutes. Well, some of them were. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the last video in the broadcast. We are here yet again with Snort Burnell, DsPgaming. Wee! Not making ad revenue, and DSP tries it is fan service. This is from February 1st of 2018. Here we go. And remember, all the videos, respectfully, will be down in the description, so if you guys want to check them out without my annoying voice, you can do that. It's a thing!
I'll play the game! Oh my god! What the fuck?
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude.
You know, excuse me, for those of you who've watched Snort Burnell for a very long time, you see how Snort Burnell had this progression with everything that they do, right? From the intro to the outro and then everything in between. It was all gradual. They didn't do everything spur of the moment. They did everything over time. I think that's very telling to what that should have been the blueprint for Phil. He could have just changed a little bit here, a little bit there over time. He tests things out, see how people respond to it. And if he had gone about it that way, the amount of success he could have had over the span of years would have been a whole lot better. Granted, he would have had to change himself first, which he obviously couldn't do. Even when he tried to, he failed at it. So I think that's just another thing I'd like to point out to you guys. When you think about Snort Burnell, and you think about all the changes that were made over time, they were all gradual. And because of that is the reason why, at the point that I'm recording this, Snort Burnell is almost at 10,000 subs. Almost at 10,000. Which is a beautiful thing. Whereas Phil, despite his 160 to 180,000 subs, is in a decline in such a way that maybe DsPgaming isn't worth it anymore. Forget it being an archive channel. Maybe he just needs to cut it loose altogether. But as long as it makes him over 30,000 a year, why would he do that? Just something I wanted to point out to you guys. Change is not a bad thing. It's just how you implement change. DSP News?
Sound good?
DSP tries it. Selsun Blue. Finally, I tried out Selsun Blue for the first time ever, okay? After making jokes about this product for years and years and years, I actually tried Selsun Blue, and I did a funny video of me in the shower, alright? You know, joking around with Selsun Blue. You know, it was a funny video. It was meant to be funny. Some people cringe.
Wasn't that the video that you ended up getting sick? You got sick after? Like, you did the video, and then you got sick after that for like 3 days. I don't think I ever ended up doing that video. Hold on a second. When was this done? This was February 1st of 2018. Might have been one of those that I missed. And we can turn that into some type of special later.
People laughed. Some people, you know, well, however you react to it, whatever.
It's gross. It's for this. So this video I released on Saturday. So as of today, it has over 10,000 views. Views. I don't want to be Mr. Views.
On my King of Hate vlogging channel. By the way, I should mention, it's been fully monetized. It's not like, oh, the video got demonetized, and so I'm not making any ad revenue on it. No, the video is fully monetized, okay? 10,000 views. Ladies and gentlemen, no exaggeration, I checked on it this morning. I have made $5 on that video.
Wah, I'm not making ad revenue. Wah. $5. Okay. For the work I put into it, the editing and everything, filming, buying the product, $5. The money is mine, and I want the money. Now, to give you some perspective, that's not even enough to cover the cost of the shampoo that I bought for the video. The salty tears.
Wait, so you needed to be compensated for something that you needed to use anyway? What? What? And then for the setting up, the editing, and this, that, and the third? I mean, Did you not need to take a shower? It's not like there was any time, it's not like there was any time wasted when you did that. Oh my god. And I don't know if I believe him on the $5 thing. That sounds porkily suspicious, to be honest with you.
Baby. So that video is actually a loss for me. I lost money making that video. It's not about the money. It's not.
Can you believe that shit? So that's, and now just to give you guys some perspective, in the old YouTube, in the old days, all right?
I'm more about looking forward than looking back.
A video that I make that would get around 10,000 views would make anywhere from $20 to $40 in ad revenue on YouTube. So you're talking, no exaggeration and no lie, okay? YouTube.
Yeah, whenever he says no exaggeration, no lie, you know it's probably a lie. And yet again, I'm pretty confident he made more than that off some of those DSP tries back in the day. Actually, I know he has because he admitted it in either one of the retrospective streams recently, and he's certainly done it in like a pre-stream, even predating that.
Revenue has plummeted by about 75%, if not more, since when YouTube used to actually be profitable. How crazy is that? That's insane, right? Insane. So anyway, just giving you guys some perspective. YouTube is basically
It's a lost cause.
You know, now, will YouTube ad revenue pick up later this year? Undoubtedly, it probably will. This happened last year, too. It was actually the months of January and
Now,
February.
ladies and gentlemen, this right here is a shining example of someone who didn't change when he was supposed to, who didn't conduct good business when he should have, and in turn, thought that he was going to suckle at YouTube's teat for the rest of his life, without ever changing his content, without ever trying to make it better, without stepping out of his comfort zone, and shitting on everybody around him that was successful. Under reasonable circumstances, he got what he got, and he certainly got what he deserved. So it's funny how people who have declining ad revenue, despite the declining ad revenue, there were plenty of content creators that were doing just fine. And what were their excuses, Phil? I mean, outside of the fact that not only were they still making good money on their channels, but they had branched out and had sponsorship. I mean, they had ended up getting into bed with some of these companies for sponsorship back in 2016, 2015. They made the right connections. They collaborated with other people, and in turn, by doing those collaborations, were able to kind of cross-pollinate when it comes to sponsorships. It's that and the third. I know you don't know what that means, Phil. Don't worry. It's a little bit over your head, but I'm sure someone in your audience, I'm sure somebody in your fan base will explain it to you later. With that being said, it's because people understood what they were doing with business and realizing that that business is bigger than just their YouTube channels. They were able to make stuff happen. While this idiot right here, within his own genre, who couldn't get a look, who couldn't make shit happen, and every time someone reached back to try to give him a hand, he smacked it away and said, oh, I can do it myself, or I used to be white hot popular, like that means anything to anybody, is now sitting here crying about how YouTube ad revenue is in the shit. Which it was for people who didn't plan ahead of time. You don't wait until something bad happens to come up with a plan. It's already too late for that. But that encompasses what DSP is, to his very core. Congratulations, Phil.
Where things really died last year because there was no ad revenue to go around at all. And then all of a sudden in March, it picked up a little bit. If you guys remember, it was the month of March where I left my partnership with Machinima and I joined Curse. So when I jumped ship from one to the other, the ad revenue ended up incidentally was going up on YouTube anyway at that point because more advertisers were finally coming in. It's actually the months of January and February, or excuse me, yeah, January, February that are usually really bad on YouTube anyway. But still, it needs to be said, I mean, that's abysmal. That's like, that's just insanely low amounts of revenue for videos on YouTube at this point.
Wah, I'm not making ad revenue. Wah.
Actually, let me talk about that for just a minute. So when Phil said that he jumped ship from Machinima to Curse, which is a lie, he was fired from Machinima because he wouldn't shut the hell up and wait until they knew what was going on. Goes to Curse, said he makes way more money, but a lot of his playthroughs ended up basically getting castrated because of music and this, that, and the third. Here's what I've taken away from the Phil Machinima thing, because it's been a little while, and I need to kind of go over those videos again when he got fired, because that's just pure loveliness. And then when he explains his 7 years or 6 years on Machinima, I should probably do those videos, by the way. I should do that soon. I'll write that down. But but what I took away from that is that, one, not only was Machinima basically, they owned Phil lock, stock, and trade. Phil paid for protection. Let me explain. So, as I have said plenty of times, and as Phil has admitted, that he was being overpaid by Machinima for a number of years, and then they started cutting his payback, cutting his payback, cutting his payback. Now, under reasonable circumstances, ladies and gentlemen, all they're doing, or all they were doing, was trying to bring Phil back to where he should have been. If Phil was making the standard like he should have, instead of being overpaid, he wouldn't have had the money to do the things that he did anyway, to be honest. Or if he did, or if he ended up purchasing the shit that he did, he would have either had to save for it, or he would prove my point that he's just highly irresponsible. Either which way. With that being said, it wasn't just the fact that they were overpaying him and they were trying to compensate by bringing him down a couple of notches. One, he wasn't performing. His performance of his channel was horrible. He can blame that on the detractors, trolls, and haters all he wants, but he was in a decline before the false copyright strikes came in. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. On top of that, when you look at his metrics, right, and you see this decline that he said, oh, I was slumping a little bit, but it wouldn't have been as bad, so on and so forth. We'll never really know, but either which way, he was in a decline and it wasn't going to pick back up. So, excuse me, Jesus Christ. He was gonna hit that wall no matter what. But here's the third point. The reason why I think, well, then my next point is, how much was Phil actually getting out of that Machinima deal? What was the actual cut? And it makes me think that they were taking a whole lot more from Phil than Phil really is willing to admit, or Phil really even knows and or understands. And why would they do that, per se? Some of you are probably like, yo, GTG, give me an example. Well, given the amount of videos that he has, and given the amount of times Machinima had to go to bat to keep all of his content monetized, right, so they can continue to make money off of Phil, it would, especially once Nintendo started to ramp up and be like, hey, we want a cut of everything that we're doing, plus some of these other publishers or game studios who are like, yo, we want a piece of this pie too. It leads me to believe that Phil was basically paying protection money to Machinima to keep all of his playthroughs up, to keep all of them untouched, and more importantly, to allow him to monetize all of them. That's essentially what Machinima did. Let me give you an example. Machinima was basically Paul Vario. I'm not sure if you guys know who that is, but I'm sure some of you guys do. Paul Vario was a lieutenant in the LAKEY crime family. If you guys ever saw Goodfellas, he's that's the guy who's Paul Lee, I should say. That's Paul Vario, or Vario. I think it's Paul Vario. That's Paul. And a lot of people didn't understand what it was that Paul did and whatnot, which is why it was really hard to catch him for everything until what's his name? Until Henry Hill ended up ratting him out. Well, in truth, it was just kind of like the movie. If you ever do a little bit of research on him, you'll find out some of it. Is that he did protection, he basically provided protection to other wise guys who couldn't go to the cops and who couldn't even go to their own families. It wasn't like he only dealt with people in the LAKEY crime family. There was a lot of different people from a lot of different crews that came to him for help. And he made shit happen, to be honest. He kept people alive. He did a lot of shit. And he charged quite a bit of money to do it. That's just one of many things. But it's a pretty good example. Machinima's no different. Machinima is when these companies, these game companies and publishers were starting to clamp down, they basically took large cuts from some of these guys, to protect their content so they can still make money on it. You have to pay to play, if you will. And for whatever reason, Phil Burnell never understood how that worked, which is crazy to me. And so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not understand how business works, you're leaving yourself open to be exploited. And that's what happened. Phil was taken advantage of because he didn't understand how business worked, and he didn't have a backup plan, and because he was too lazy to try to get his original Google AdSense back, which he could have, because he was too lazy to do that, because he was too busy basically under Machinima's boobs, he didn't he was completely codependent on them, and he couldn't do anything else. He had no other choice. So when he started to lash out, talking about, you guys got to help me, you guys got to help me, you guys got to help me, he thought his worth was really more than what it was. And in actuality, he did Machinima a favor. It was Machinima's best bet to cut their losses with Phil, because in the case that, like, Nintendo, for example, decided to really come hard on a lot of MCN's asses for some of the bullshit that they were doing behind the scenes, it's not worth taking the hit for Phil Burnell, sorry. So it was easier to cut him off when they did, to be honest. And Phil didn't realize it. He didn't realize that he was already a liability, and since his worth or his income or whatever it was dropping, his value, let's say that, since his value was already in a decline, it only made good business. It only made business sense to get rid of him. And all they needed was a reason. And the sad thing is, it's similar to Phil's fans in a lot of ways. Machinima gave him chances. They were like, hey, chill out, we're working on this. Hey, Phil, chill out, we're working on this. Hey, Phil, you need to stop. We're working on this. You're overstepping your boundaries. Hey, Phil. I mean, they gave him so many chances until they finally let him go. They probably wouldn't have done that for anybody else. I want you guys to think about that too. DSP News.
I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills.
Again, I have to say, I feel for people who are 100% relying on YouTube for a living. They're screwed. I really don't know what they're doing, unless they already have millions and millions of views on every video. So now, instead of making $10 million a year, now they only make like 4. I mean, I really feel bad for those people, definitely.
That's 100% a lie.
Because we all know those top YouTubers only put out the most quality of content anyway. But I digress.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to say thanks for the money, dummies. Because that's exactly what you fucking are. A bunch of fucking empty-headed idiots who paid me money to get absolutely nothing out of it. Thanks. Wow. I'm incredibly grateful. The best streaming month I've ever had here on my Twitch channel. All right.
There will be a new episode of DSP Tries It this week. And it will be a food item.
Oh my god!
What the fuck? Whoa! Whoa! So the first food item I'm reviewing on DSP Tries It since like early December. So like over 2 months, I think it's gonna be. Since the last time I had one. So that will be coming out, I think, this weekend. Okay? So that's cool. And by the way, you know, it should be said. Again, like I said, every video I put out on my vlogging channel, at this point, I make no money on it. I really don't. I'm paying more now for the meal than what I make on the DSP Tries It video.
I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct.
So it's all fan service for you guys. The only reason I'm even continuing on with the series DSP Tries It is as fan service for you guys. It really doesn't make me any money. I actually lose money on the videos now. So, you know, I hope you guys enjoy it. You know, it has been a very, very long-running series on YouTube. And it's not like, you know, it's not like I don't enjoy doing it. At the same time, though, you know, you gotta understand that YouTube has changed completely. And it's sad that it has, but it has changed so completely that, you know, my focus has to be on streaming constantly because that's what's allowing me to make a living. But I will still do DSP Tries It from time to time when I can, okay?
Cannibalism.
So, remember what he said at the beginning of this broadcast about the whole situation with money, time, this, that, and the third, but Phil back in 2018 said he would still do DSP Tries It as long as he made time. Or as long as he had time to do them. He would make time for him, to be honest. Excuse me. And then on top of that, he was okay with taking a hit on him, taking a hit on DSP Tries It because it was a long-running series and it was fan service, and I guess that was his appreciation to those fans. Now, he won't give you guys a look no matter what, even if you guys agree, and meaning his fans, agree to cough up the money for the actual DSP Tries It himself. He still wants to make the excuse that, oh, well, I still got to cough up the money for it, this, that, and the third. Should they get him gift cards? Should they send him gift card codes to Burger King and all these other places, and then maybe he'll do it? That's actually a pretty good idea. Holy shit, I didn't think about that. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Since Phil is now into the whole game code nonsense, right? And why not just send him gift cards for different types, or gift card codes for different type of food products, for different type of restaurants or whatever, and then have him do DSP Tries It through those? Why not? That doesn't sound like a bad idea, actually. Huh. Oh boy, that might have stumbled upon something.
I'm salivating at the goddamn mouth. Excuse me. Oh. Papa Lou did a 25-bit cheer. If I could get down on my hands and knees and say thank you and still be on camera, I would do it. Okay? I seriously would do it. He says, I've been having a terrible day. Thank you very much for giving me something to look forward to. By the way, if you want to cheer me up, would you give me... No, mod me. I'm not modding you, Papa Lou. Get the hell out. He's trying to butter me up and then ask for a mod. Get the hell out of here, dude. Why am I toxic? More toxic, more toxic. Burn in hell, Burnell. And now I'm going to burn in hell for the rest of eternity because of it. You can't change who you are, I guess. What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh! Easy to eat. Oh! Fills a fit.
Oh boy, that was fun. Papa Lou, I forgot all. It's been a lot of. I haven't forgot about him, but that's a long time. Holy shit, I haven't heard anything from that dude forever. He was fun. I gotta admit, Papa Lou was an interesting character while he was around. I gotta say, he was an interesting guy. So too bad he's not around anymore. Maybe he'll show back up. But Papa Lou was he was an interesting guy, I gotta tell you. Or an interesting individual, whoever Papa Lou might have been. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so that right there is basically the decline of DSP Tries-Its. As best as I could bring it to you, I thought that these three here, that the last two videos, I should say, complemented the most current situation or status of DSP Tries-It. And I'll try to do that for videos moving forward if I feel that's appropriate. Throwing some DSP lore in there every once in a while, I think, helps tell the story in a lot of ways. But that's neither here nor there. As it pertains to DSP Tries-It as a whole, ladies and gentlemen, it can be profitable, but he has to change it. He has to move away from the old business model and do something new. As the food business has evolved, it's as easy as you could ever get to order stuff now in advance. I mean, Jesus Christ, eventually, well, you think he has what? I don't know if he has Uber Eats in that area. I'm sure they do. He could do that nonsense. Dude, some food trucks in the Seattle area, as well in a lot of places, for example, like some of the food trucks around the business district where I work, they end up actually sending out alerts if you've ever eaten at one of these spots to tell you where they're at and what time they're going to be there. You know what I'm saying? And they can give you a window. You can even order in advance from them. And then when they pop up, all you got to do is come up and grab it and whatnot. Done. You don't even have to pay at the window because you've already paid by credit card over the phone or through the app or whatever the case may be. It doesn't get any easier, and all he's doing is finding more and more excuses. But the reason is, ladies and gentlemen, is he may not know. He's a fucking shut-in. So he doesn't associate with anybody. He doesn't go out and really do much of anything. So he doesn't know these things, to be honest. And I think that's one of the biggest, I think that's one of his biggest drawbacks. It's one of the biggest drawbacks to DSP, is that for someone who tells you how business works and how the world really acts and this, or how the world really works and how to interact with it and all this, that, and the third, he himself doesn't know how to interact with the world. He doesn't understand it. He just doesn't. And I know that might seem harsh, but it's true. He has no idea what he's really doing. He doesn't understand that the times that he lives in. He can sit there and get all the information off Twitter that he wants, but that's only so much. And if you're not willing to go out and see the world for what it is and interact with it, then what do you really know about it? And more importantly than that, it kind of explains why he's falling back. Not just in gaming, not just as a content creator, but as a person. So, there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. God, dog, this cappuccino had a lot of sugar in it. But, still rather delicious. I need a boatload of water, though. But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. And I'll see you guys for the next broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh, yes, a GTG Network and Productions. For the Snort Report, I am your host, /anchor, GTG. And I'm signing off. Take care of yourselves, guys. See you on the next one. End the broadcast. Oh, boy. DSP Tries-It for life. I should do a GTG Tries-It.